Hey everyone, Trance Jesus here. I am excited to share with you some of the memories that really stuck out to me over the last 5 years of streaming on Twitch. Of course, all of it really began with lockdown with COVID, but from there it's really blossomed into some really amazing friendships. We're continuing to honing the skills behind the decks with almost 1,000 hours and almost 300 episodes, which is hard to believe, and just sharing music that I love with the world. So without further ado, let's dig into some of those memories. So this first clip was from right at the beginning of lockdown. All of our service industry friends in Minneapolis essentially had no way of having any income, and so a lot of us local DJs got together one Sunday, did a nice little online stream to raise money to allow music with meaning to really help a lot of our friends who are there for us every week when we go to different events, different venues, and wanted to give back to them a little bit.
She woke up in the morning with the sunrise in her eyes, but all that she sees is darkness. She won't tell you why. No more butterflies, cause they don't ever last. Stolen from the light by demons of the past. It's always raining, but she keeps on praying. Cause they don't ever last. Stolen from the light by demons of the past. It's always raining, but she keeps on praying. Oh, sunny days lift me when I'm down. Oh, sunny days.
Actually the introduction where I think a lot of people found out who this Trance Jesus was on Twitch, because it aired on the Trance Family LA channel in Easter. and a number of people happened to stumble across that stream, and a lot of those people, name a few of them, Music for the Masses, the Big D, those were some of the fellow Twitch streamers that was their first introduction to this guy called Trance Jesus. was PDA, so cover your eyes. But we celebrated Jen's birthday. I think she was turning 39 that year at our friend's place downtown Minneapolis, overlooking the skyline. One of my favorite places to DJ. And at least this clip actually is two of Jen's favorite songs, and that was fun to do that stream and dedicate it to her on her special day. to August of 2020. Lockdown was still in full effect. If you go back and look at all the episodes of Church of Trance, this one was probably number 17, but I like to call those at that time Holy Water Wednesdays. And the reason I picked this clip is I always love to eat on stream. Even just DJing, I love to eat. And so this is just a representation of that love of music and food together. actually harmed in the making of this video. He is still alive. I can attest to that right now. However, this was definitely one of the funniest moments in Twitch history. He reminded me today that I actually paid him $20 to be a part of this stunt. But every time I see it, I just can't help but laugh. And thanks to Arin for being such a good sport. He's no longer that small anymore. Sometimes even Trance Jesus has to use the facilities, so... And the body cannot live on Fireball alone. I do have some actual water here. And I see that the lovely Jen Blackburn has made a request using her blessings, her channel blessings, to request Just Be. I got you, babe. Alright, that was way too good. I'm going to actually be clipping that one, so hold on. Oh my god, this is too funny. definitely is one of my favorite streams over the last 5 years. It was the 1,000 Disciple stream at the AV View Studios. Big shout out to good buddy John Becker for setting it up. Hope to do another one of these. Yeah, it's maybe get closer to 5,000, but just this production made me feel like I was streaming, in a Hollywood movie. Absolutely loved it.
Disciples, it's time to go down the rabbit hole. This is all pre-2000 Fairy, and some aliases that you might recognize, and some that if you do not, and those that you do, I'm really surprised. And for the rest of you, enjoy for this first time. Again, you guys follow me on Discord. I'll be posting the whole audio and the track list for this set tomorrow, so I'll be quiet. Enjoy.
during lockdown, spending a lot of time at Twitch. You met some amazing people all over the world. One of those such people was Roxy. She's in Eastern Europe, and it was an amazing friend to be able to make. And one of the ideas you had was, she love curating music, but wasn't necessarily a DJ. So I was like, why don't you send me a playlist and I'll play it on stream. That ended up evolving into this concept of a onesie party, which we did have several over the last couple of years, last 5 years. And it was a lot of fun to take someone's ideas of music, curate it into an event, and I'll have a lot of fun wearing onesies at the same time. So this was a clip from the very first onesie party.
Where my GC fam? All right, guys. Top of the hour. Thank you once again for being a part of this Christmas Twitch holiday party stream. This is in your honor. Love you guys. Hope to see you guys in 2021 somewhere on a dance floor somewhere.
This next clip is the very tail end of my 40th birthday celebration that I had down in Florida. My parents rented an Airbnb. All my siblings came down. It was a fantastic way to celebrate the holidays. With the small exception is I tried to orchestrate a 24-hour raid train while not at home with my mobile gear and barely got any sleep. It was quite an adventure, and hang on to the very end of this clip. You'll see where my brain was. I actually ended up cutting 30 minutes off this video because I forgot to hit stop on the record for OBS, and it kept going. But I wanted to let you see the little tail end for me to just kind of hanging out there and see where my brain was at.
I don't think you guys are ready for what's about to come next. Hold on to your butts. It's gonna be good. Big shout out to Dave Nevin for this awesome remix. Thank you, Dave, for sharing this amazing rework of a classic Reborn. Thank you. And guys, here we go. We're about to go choo-choo this Ray train over to Vicious Code. Always has an amazing track list. Be sure to show him some love. If you aren't already following him, make sure you do so. Even if you got a little bit of extra cash in the bank, make sure you throw them some biddies and then share a sub or two with some other people. Thanks guys again for celebrating this day with me. Much love and blessings. See you guys at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Otherwise, get ready for awesome tournament tracks. Looks like let's play a little bit longer. Love you guys. Thank you.
Extra voiceover of this. You could see where I was taking on my headphones. I was making sure that the raid actually happened successfully. I guess I was typing in the chat. I really don't recall what was going on in my head because it was, a really crazy hour as I was wrapping up the stream. And if you hang on here just a second, we're about, I'd say, halfway through just this little tail end of silence. See that sigh of exasperation? I'm like, where's my head at? Oh gosh. And here in a second, you'll see my brother walk into the frame, and I say hello to him. Let's see. All right, it looks like I had no clue where my head was at this moment. I'm guessing I was talking to my brother or something because he's about to walk by in the frame. I love it. It's hilarious. There he is. There's Tim. High five. You did it. And now I'm gone. And it kept going. I had a couple of different streams to choose from. Thanks to some of the virtual DJ stages crew for setting me up with this awesome church setting. I wanted to showcase this one just from the local legends. Got to use this one quite a bit. We'll probably even use this one again at some point during the 5th Twitchiversary weekend, just because I love the setting, especially with the Robe involved. But enjoy some of the tunes, especially the one coming up with Christina Novelli. It's one of my favorites.
Big shout out to my lovely wife, Jen Blackburn, for this request. And yes, she's sitting right there.
I just watched you leave in the middle of the night. I didn't even cry. Did we even fight? Now I can't sleep. I'm in way too deep. I feel numb in my teeth. No, there's nothing wrong with me. Now I'm stood on the outside. Am I even scared? I can hardly breathe. This is suffocating me. My worst enemy is myself, and I try to save my life. And every day I'm getting high. I've
So we reached the first Twitchiversary. I did a montage like this for that one as well. You can find it on my YouTube page. It was about an hour, which we're going to be reaching at the end of this particular clip. But wanted to highlight a fun part of it because I had a bunch of friends over. I was cooking on the grill. Going to be doing the same thing for the 5th Twitchiversary. Just a little different setting. And gotta reflect on kind of where things have gone over the last since the last really big one of these events back during the first Twitchiversary.
I gotta flip the meat. I shall return. just wait. You're definitely going to be hungry once you see these.
Bomb tacos. Wanted to drop this quick clip in. Big shout out to a good friend Nia, aka Child's Play, who's been a big part of the journey, at least for me as a DJ, in the last 10 years. And it was always been fun to share the decks with them, especially on Twitch. And enjoy this one with the vocals of Sarah DeWarren, one of our favorites here in the Blackburn household. This one is part of Sean Tyus's Derailed Raid Train. He was very active during COVID, and of course, once the world opened back up, getting back out there and touring, I'd do the same thing. That's probably why you hadn't seen me on Twitch, but this is one of his special events called Derailed. It was an honor to be a part of that event, and a couple other ones, which will have some clips coming up.
Time we used to work on the docks. Unions been
I am Trance Jesus. You're at the downtown chapel. Oh yeah, let's go with that. The downtown chapel of the Church of Trance. This is episode 100. You're in hour 7 of 8. We're in the middle of everything Ava. Or I think I said Ava up in the social blast. But it's Ava recordings, and they're amazing tunes.
2, as I like to call it, which would be episode 100, actually happened a year after Jen's first birthday stream. So this is another one where we got to celebrate over our friend's house in downtown Minneapolis with that amazing view. I wanted to share more of this just because the time lapse of the sunset was just amazing. But unfortunately, this is all I had for just this little 2-hour segment. So enjoy that amazing backdrop of downtown Minneapolis.
Back-to-back raids. Kennedy DJ, thank you so much for that raid. Welcome, raiders. You're here at the Church of Trance at our downtown chapel. That's what we've decided on for the name. This is episode 100. We're in hour 7 of 8, and it's all Ava. Man, that guy Samda, he just puts out some awesome tracks, doesn't he?
There's a glow in the warmth I feel right now, and it burns out the emptiness in me. And I feel everything is starting now. You're not a flame in my heart where it should be. 'Cause you got the fire.
Disciple stream, which happened towards the end of 2021, which, as you can tell, things have slowed down a little bit in Twitch land. But this was Regenerate episode 10 that I did as part of that almost 12-hour stream, and one of my favorites from good friend Angelus, Not Changing.
not gonna lie, this is probably my top 3 favorite Regenerate releases in 2021.
The world changing. Don't care what you think of me. I'm not changing. All we know is falling down. We don't know where we're going now. No, all we know is falling down, down, down. I'm not changing.
Of a tradition at the Church of Trance, especially with lockdown still underway, and of course this was another year of a really amazing almost 12-hour stream, I think, for 2022. This one going out to our good friend Mrs. Ural. She absolutely loves this track, and it was super cool just to go back and reflect and hear this as part of that year's Easter stream.
Just a second, then nothing's changed. Who am I this time? Where's my name? Guess it crept away.
This one's going out to our good friend Mrs. Ural in her request of Beautiful Things. And Trance Jesus chose the Daniel Skyver remix.
This happy ending away. It's all the same. Come on, waste this simplicity. One possibility. Get me up, wake me up, dreams of feeling.
episode 198, which aired in December of 2022. It's called A Tale of Two Kitchens. A good buddy, Pablo Ortigas, his setup for his live stream was always in his kitchen. And around that time, we were really into the HelloFresh thing. So I was like, oh, why not just take advantage and do a stream where I'm actually in the kitchen cooking and playing music. And that's how it was born. Had a couple other streams where I actually was cooking. And it's actually really fun, and time flies by so fast, and then you get a good meal out of it too. So I love eating and playing music at the same time.
Perfect track to drop while you're in the kitchen cooking dinner. So we've cooked up the peppers and onions. The rice is cooking. And we are cooking us some steak right now. Oh, salt the steak. Good point.
Did a special 4-hour set for our friends with the electronic trance family, formerly known as Trance Family North. Trancelot in Canada. Playing some of my favorite Regen tracks. It was a blast. I always love supporting the label and Sean and our friends up in the Great White North. And this one closed it out with one of my faves, Drop 2.
I'm not going to Shantias fanboy, but I'm going to Shantias fanboy here for a second. When I first heard Drop in like 2006 on A-Side, I was like, this is an amazing track. And throughout the years, he has never ceased to amaze me. And so when this track came out, it's like the awesome story about this track is that it says Drop 2. But in about, I'd say, a minute. In 2019, when Sean came here and I had the honor of opening for him, he didn't have the second drop done on this track and only played the first drop to close his set. And it was amazing to finally hear the finished version of him that him and Nico Sigarapos finished. But I tell people, Barry Corsa might be my favorite DJ. Shantias is by far my favorite producer. That's why I am super stoked that he's going to be here in Minneapolis in 5 days. All right, fanboy off.
Hard to believe it. Church of Trance episode 250 celebration. It was in the March of 2024. Made it a nice 9-10 hour deal with a lot of Minneapolis legends, including my good friend here, Milos. So it would not be a season of Church of Trance without this song performed in all its glory. Enjoy. So this was a Charity Raid Train that I played completely on vinyl, and here we're hearing one of the famous Arin and Gabriel Dresden tracks, Zocalo, and a transition that I think I did pretty okay in. Let's check it out.
if you didn't know that last one, then we'll have to take you back to some Trance 101. That was Gabriel and Dresden with Arin and Zocalo. This is a fun one. It's Beam versus Cyrus the Joker. It's called Launch in Progress. And this is in the Cosmic Gate remix.
So closing out 2024, one of my last streams, celebrating a good friend Brando's birthday once again, playing vinyl with one of my all-time favorite tracks. It's Above and Beyond's remix of Madonna's tune. Enjoy.
Girls cut my jeans, cut their hair short, wear shirts and boots. It's okay to be a boy, but for a boy to look like a girl is degrading. Because you think that being a girl is degrading. But secretly, you'd love to know what it's like, wouldn't you? What it feels like for a girl. Love to know what it's like, wouldn't you? What it feels like for a girl.
So speaking of what it's like to be a girl, proud father moment in Church of Trance over the last 5 years hasn't just always been about me. It's been about encouraging and helping the next generation of DJs, and these two ladies I'm so proud of that I've had the opportunity to mentor them and to see them with such synergy behind the decks is absolutely amazing. I'll give you a little clip of Jen and Trashly.
followers and disciples. Episode 287 is a wrap. This 1 hour after school special is concluded. Be sure to check out trancejesus.com for more set socials and live shows coming your way. And I'll see you again soon. Bye now. Bye.
5 years of memories, 300 streams. It wouldn't have been possible without the followers and disciples of the Church of Trance. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey. And let's keep it going. Why stop here? Be sure to check out trancejesus.com and also check out now churchoftrance.com and .org, where we're looking to do more in the community, more with music, and more in the name of trance. So hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.